Hello children, a very warm welcome from once again from my side. And how are you? I hope all of you are fine. And this is my third video rather, in which we are going to deal with the second part 2 of the second chapter, Lost Spring. So before moving ahead with this video, just to recap of our previous video, what we learned, and we studied this chapter, Lost Spring, and the first part, there are two stories. The first story was Sometimes I Find a Rupee in the Garbage, and the second story which we are going to deal today is I Want to Drive a Car. So this chapter, particularly Lost Spring, is denoted to a part of our life called as childhood. And this spring actually is related to childhood, that in house spring everything is so pleasant, so many flowers we see, and so same is the childhood stage of life childhood is, and how this childhood has been lost in some of the children's life, or rather not at all. Denoted by the two story, first one that we dealt in our last video, that is Sometimes I Find a Rupee in the Garbage, which dealt about a story of a boy called as Sahib, who was a rag picker and a migrant from Bangladesh, and then how an author visited the area where 10,000 rag pickers actually dwell in the periphery of Delhi, that area particularly known as Simapuri, and what all lifestyle they are having, and how there was a change in Sahib's life. Transformation came, that from a rag picker he became what? Do you remember? He became a what? He started working. No, he was a child laborer. He remained a child laborer, but he started working in a tea stall, and for that he was getting 800 rupees in all the meals of the day. Okay, so that change came, and this chapter, Lost Spring, particularly deals with the theme of poverty, number one, and child labor, number two. So now, of this chapter, of this book, of your book Flamingo only, same chapter, second part, I Want to Drive a Car. This story is of a child called as Mukesh. Who? Mukesh. And the chapter, or rather this part starts is declaration, I want to drive a car. Here this boy Mukesh, he is again a child only, rather 9 to 10 years, below 14 years of age. He announces that he wants to drive a car and he wants to become a master of his own. He does not want to work under somebody else in his life. And then our author questions, do you know anything about car? So he says that I will learn to drive a car. Okay. Now this boy Mukesh, whose story we are going to deal today's video, this boy belongs from a small town of Firozabad. Okay, this boy Mukesh belongs from a small town of Firozabad. Before moving ahead with the story and something else, I would like to clear you one thing, that this Firozabad town is near Agra city. Do you got my point? This Firozabad town is near Agra city in the state of Uttar Pradesh in our country, India. And this Mukesh is actually from bangle making family. And in Firozabad town, almost all the family, or rather most of the families, are involved in this bangle making. You get what is bangles? I hope I can give you one demo. Rather, today I am not wearing bangle, but still I can give you one demo of a bangle. Just wait. So children, sorry that I just went back because I just forgot to wear a bangle. Okay? This is a bangle. Got my point? This is a bangle. So, our Mukesh, the protagonist of the today's story, belongs from a bangle making family, means the family which is actually doing the profession of making bangles, and he hails from a small town called as Firozabad, okay, which is near Agra in Uttar Pradesh, I told you. So this Firozabad actually town is known as a center of glass blowing industry. All the glassware working is going on over here, and people from generations are actually involved, or rather working around furnaces. Do you understand what's furnaces? Hot fires. They are working around the furnaces, and from generations they are working. And you can imagine, when they are working from generation, means almost the entire family is involved in this process in Firozabad, and they are working in a very, very dingy cells, and the condition is, it seems that they are making the bangles for the entire ladies on the earth. That is the process over there in Firozabad. So this Mukesh belongs from a bangle making family in Firozabad. Okay, they are just involved in shouldering or moldering the bangles or glasses over there. And now what happened? This Mukesh actually, by telling the author that I want to become a motor mechanic, I just want, when the question is asked that by the author that how do you know something about car, or what you are going to do it, because since your family and everybody in your family is only involved in bangle making, then he said, by looking straight into the eyes of the author, just like a mirage, that I will learn it. So he, in this first particular passage of this part, it shows that how Mukesh is determined to become a motor mechanic, to be a master of his own. And the word mirage has been mentioned in your book, the word loom. His dream actually loomed like a mirage in the dust of the Firozabad town. It means that his dream, what Mukesh is dreaming of becoming a motor mechanic, is just like this dream is appearing like a mirage. Mirage is a thing which cannot be achieved, or a wish or a hope which can never be achieved, or it can be related in a sandy or a dusty area, where if you're walking, you visualize that in nearby you're having some source of water, but originally you are not having, the water source is not there. So Mukesh actually dreams of something which is very difficult to be fulfilled in this bangle making, from this bangle making family. Now why it is such a serious issue has been there by author, why she feels that he is just dreaming like which cannot be fulfilled. We will move ahead with the chapter. As the chapter progresses, this boy actually voluntarily takes the author towards his home. The author wants to visit the home of this bangle making boy who wants to be a motor mechanic or want to drive a car. So on the way, he very proudly announces, you know, my house is being rebuilt. Okay, the house is being rebuilt. House is being rebuilt. Let's move towards your house. And you know, when author is moving towards the house, 3 different things she noticed. 3 different things she noticed. Number 1, they were moving along the stinking lanes. You do understand what are stinking lanes? Very smelly. Foul smell was coming on the way. and that lanes, stinking lanes, were choked by garbage. You can imagine if you go to your friend's house, from the area you recognized or you just calculate the standard. Oh, he is living in a very posh area. Oh, the house in that area, you know, there's the approach road is like that, and then so we talk very commonly. And while progressing towards the house of Mukesh, the author is passing, number one, listen very carefully, what is stinking lanes, very foul smell is coming, choked with garbage, lot of garbage spread over there, okay, and the house which she is seeing in that area, what are they? They are appearing like hovels. The word hovel has been mentioned in your book. If you're having book, you can just make it up. Hovel. Hovels are a term used for such houses which are either very dirty or not fit to live in. So the houses along the streets were like appearing like hovel. And the second one in your book word is crumbling walls. These houses walls are crumbling, means they're about to break. Improper built. They can break any time, they can fall off. And the next word mentioned by the author is wobbly doors. Oh my God. See the condition of houses. Wobbly doors making a lot of noises like and not properly fixed like that. So number one, what was stinking lanes choked with garbage. Then hovels, houses, crumbling walls, wobbly doors with no windows. Okay, no windows. And the third point which our author actually observed while walking towards the Mukesh house is these houses are really crowded, overcrowded houses. Means many people are living in a small house and human beings and animals are living along with it, like we have in a primitive arrangements. See the condition. Mukesh, a boy from a bangle making family, wants to be a motor mechanic, proudly announces to the author, you know, my house is being rebuilt. Author say, okay, I would like to visit the house. I would like to visit the families of bangle making industry people and see the condition. See the condition. The condition of the houses are like this. You know, they are like this. They are arranged, or rather they are, we can say, they are placed around stinking lanes with choked garbage, with hovels like houses, with crumbling walls, wobbly doors, and human beings and animals all are overcrowded in their houses. Okay, this is the condition. So can you imagine what will be the condition? Such a miserable condition. And you know how many children work over there? 20,000 children are working in this particular families along with their parents. Again, this chapter is based on poverty. This part of the chapter theme is based on poverty and child labor. In the second paragraph itself, rather third paragraph, it mentions, the author mentions that these people are so poor, so uneducated that they don't know that child labor is illegal. She very clearly mentions over there. And if law is properly enforced, then this 20,000 children can be rescued. And you know what are the conditions? Working condition, I told you 3 parameters in which the houses were. And you know working conditions? These children are working in 3 different conditions. Number 1, they are working in hot temperatures or under high temperatures. They are working in high temperatures. Number 2, these children who are involved along with their parents in bangle making process are working in dingy cells. Okay? And number 3, there is no air, no light, plus no light. This is a working condition for bangle making. Can you imagine? These children are working under high temperature in dingy cells. High temperature means the temperature of that particular room is very, very high and very hot over there. Dingy, very, very small rooms in which the furnaces are there. No light, no air is there. You can imagine the pathetic condition of the children who are involved in this bangle making process. And in such one of the houses, Mukesh stopped. He bangs the door with his foot. He enters, and there author saw a young, or rather a weak, thin girl who has been dressed like a lady. Rather, she's a girl only. But she's a young woman, it hasn't mentioned. She's dressed in a sari, or rather in an Indian custom, and she is actually preparing some spinach leaves on the firewood, and just down there behind it a platter is there where chopped vegetables are kept. And you know who is this young lady in Mukesh's house? She is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. And this young woman is actually now in charge of the house because she has got a big designation called as Bahu, or daughter-in-law. So she has to take all the care of all the household management, from cooking to everything. And she was the word which has been written, she's in charge of all the 3 men like Mukesh, Mukesh's elder brother, and Mukesh's father. Means she is responsible for all the household chores, this young lady. And now author describes that when she enters in their house, she actually see this young woman, and then Mukesh's father enter. And as soon as Mukesh's father enter, this young woman actually go behind the wall and put the veil. Veil means ghungat. That is a customary or a tradition of an Indian family of Firozabad, or rather it is a common custom in most of the parts of India. So she go behind the wall, and then the conversation between the author and Mukesh's father starts. Rather, Mukesh's father is also a impoverished bangle maker. Impoverished bangle maker means he is not a skilled bangle maker. Okay? He's not so skilled. Earlier, Mukesh's father was a tailor. And when he was not successful being a tailor, he gradually shifted to this bangle making business. And you know, what are his achievements as a bangle making? You want to know? It's written in a chapter. His achievements are, as a bangle maker, he is not able to build or renovate his house as a bangle maker. He is not able, secondly, he is not able to send his 2 sons, that is Mukesh and his elder brother, to school. See the achievements of bangle making. He is not able to do anything in his life, such a poverty-stricken state. Only his achievement is that he has made his children, both his children, that is Mukesh and Mukesh's elder brother, to learn his trade, that is the art of bangle making. He made them to learn also, so that they can carry forward this profession. Okay, this is the achievement of bangle maker, Mukesh's father. Then in the scene there is a description about Mukesh's grandmother, because author is in Mukesh's house, and the grandmother announces it's the Karma who herself has actually seen her husband going blind. You know, the basic or the main side effect of this bangle making is they are actually working in dingy cells in a dark state, so the eyes becomes accustomed to darkness than the daylight. So these people actually become, yes, blind. These people become blind before they attain age of teenage or before they become adults. So grandmother says it is a destiny, it is our karma, as she is born in this caste of bangle making, and she says that it is all I have just found that we have just worked like this from years on years like this ever since she is born. And this is something really bothering our author. Oh my God, what is this? See, the bangle making houses, these bangles are so beautiful. And she was thinking that these bangle making people must have been so rich. And see what is the condition? My goodness. And she says, or rather author concluded, or they make various kinds of bangle, or rather various different colors, from sunny, you can call it from golden sunny, or from yellow sunny, or from paddy green, from royal blue, from purple pink, all the shades which are there in rainbow. All colors of bangles are made in Firozabad town, in almost majority of houses, and they are piled up in the hand carts. You know, hand carts, the carts which can be driven by the hand, thela cart, which can be driven by the hands, and the young men of the family used to drove these hand carts into the narrow lanes of Firozabad town. This is the life of the people. And because they are poor, because they are uneducated, because they are unaware, their most of the life is around the furnace only. Sitting in the dingy cell, working under very hot temperatures, and eyes are accustomed to darkness, and they become blind before they become adult. That is the condition of the people of Firozabad town who are involved in bangle making. And then author just observe or visit a place where a young girl, this is mentioned in your chapter, Savita, who is draped in a faded pink dress. She's a very young girl, and you know, while seeing this young girl Savita, elderly woman also was sitting beside her, and this Savita is actually, her hands, this young girl's hands were moving so fast while making the bangles, while welding these bangles, the glass bangles, that our author was so surprised, so amazed. Oh my God, the hands were so much accustomed in making the bangles, they were moving in just like a machine. And just having a look on this young girl, our author just goes in a thought process. Do they know the importance of these bangles in Indian tradition? This young girl is making so fast, with good accuracy, with so, you know, she was surprised on the way of doing all the things. Does this young girl know what is the meaning of this bangle for a married lady, or rather a word suhag has been mentioned in the book, that it is related to evidence of a married woman in Indian custom, and then she actually goes or driven away by a thought process. Our author has actually flown in that thought process that one day this young girl will also become a bride, and when she will wear this bangle, she will truly understand its holy or sacred meaning of in the Indian custom or tradition. But what is the importance of bangle, wearing bangle for a woman? And then this elderly woman who was just sitting beside this young girl who was making bangles, she was having no joy on her face, she was having no joy in her eyes or happiness, and with a very burdened heart she said, "Ek ser bhi khana nahi khaya." That is a word, that is a phrase or line has been mentioned in your book. Means in this due course of bangle making, these families never had a full meal, or rather one time meal also. They didn't have full meal. Oh my God, the author was shocked. These beautiful bangle makers are actually in such a pathetic, miserable, rather poverty-stricken state that they had never had a full meal. And you know, the husband of this elderly woman, his achievement, you know, in this entire course of his life, right from in his teenage when he started, or rather as a child when he started bangle making, his achievement, his only achievement in the life is he's able to build a what house? A very kacha house type. He's able to manage. That only. That is achievement. And author is really shocked to see these people who are involved in such a beautiful business called as bangle making. Means bangle appears so beautiful, and even the boys cannot relate themselves to it. But if you are having mothers, everybody knows in India what's the importance of bangle, and girls can always relate themselves to bangle and how much costly it is. But see the people who are making bangle. The author was shocked and amazed. Oh my God, they are so poverty stricken. And she mentions in the chapter that they are so poverty stricken, they are so unaware, they are uneducated, that these people have given up. Given up means they have surrendered themselves. Now the new generation people of these family, if they can even sense, before they can become aware, they actually have stopped dreaming. They have actually stopped taking the initiative to dream that they can live a good life from this bangle making, or rather to switch off to some other trade, stop this bangle making, switch off to some other trade and do something beautiful which can actually raise their lifestyle. And an author was so surprised, and she says, why don't you people organize yourself? Why don't you people organize yourself, form cooperatives and actually do good one? Means she knows that this is a profitable job. Author actually analyzes, or rather we can say she calculates that bangle making is definitely a profitable job, but these poor people who are actually poverty stricken actually are entrapped in the vicious web of middlemen. That's why she says, why don't you people organize yourself? Why don't you unite, form a cooperative or self-help groups, or rather you start your own business by uniting? Why you are actually following middlemen or dalal or sahukars? Why you selling your products to them? Why don't you start your own business, something like that? She wants to motivate them. And you know, she was really, really disheartened after she heard their reply. You know what the villagers reply? We tried it. We tried it, but they were troubled a lot, you know. What is their reply? Policemen drag them. They beat them. They take them to jail as if they are doing something illegal. They are not only entrapped in the vicious web of these middlemen like sahukars. These sahukars they are attached with policemen and other bureaucrats, and the police drag them, they beat them, put them into the jail, and there is nobody among them who can be a leader because they are all uneducated. In these course of years, this bangle making has not given them anything. These bangle makers are not able to send their children to school. They are unaware of their rights. So what happened? There is no leader. There is nobody who can actually make them to analyze their condition, rethink, or actually make them to look the different side of this bangle making business, that this bangle making can be done in a beautiful, profitable way, and the lives of our people can be improved, and our children can go to school and they can study and they can do whatever they want. There is no leader among themselves, and that's why they have actually stopped dreaming about anything. They reply like that. And here our author mentions two different worlds she actually looks in Firozabad town. Which two different worlds she's talking about, do you know? She clearly says she actually visualizes two different worlds. Author visualizes two worlds. What are those? One is poverty stricken and stigma of caste. Another, trapped, they are also poverty stricken and trapped in vicious web. They are also poverty stricken. So after visiting so many families of bangle making people, our author clearly classified the people or bangle making family in two different categories. The one category is those who are already poverty stricken, and secondly, they feel that this is their stigma, this is their destiny, they are made for it. Means like the grandmother of Mukesh told that, can a God-given lineage can ever be broken? Can a God-given lineage can ever be broken? Like this. So she classified this in one category, and another one, they are also poverty stricken and they are actually entrapped in vicious web of middlemen, policemen, sahukar, bureaucrats, politicians. And you know, all these people have imposed a heavy baggage. It appears to an author like these people who are involved in a bangle making their child, and such a heavy baggage have been imposed that the child cannot lift it up. Never he is able to lift it up. That is, a heavy burden has been on their head. And because they are poverty stricken, they are uneducated, they are unaware, there is no leader among them, they are in this pathetic and miserable condition. But still, who is very firm? Mukesh cheers up by saying, I want to be a motor mechanic. In the last paragraph of the chapter, again author says, Mukesh, I want to be a motor mechanic. So the author says the garage is very far away from your place. The garage is so far. How is you going to learn the things, go to garage? There's still a determination. He says, I will walk. Here, the word I will walk, what Mukesh says, when she says, how are you going to do it? There is no garage nearby. He said, I will walk towards it. Though it's far away. This not only shows determination of Mukesh, but it also shows what? That the capability of daring has not been lost. Life is a life when we take a risk. That risk-taking capability of Mukesh is within him. He wants to take a risk in his life. He wants to improve himself. He wants to be master of his own. He wants to be motor mechanic. For that, he cannot sit at home and do bangle making and can become a motor mechanic. He knew that he had to go to garage, learn that technique, and then only he can be a motor mechanic. So he's telling to author that I will walk towards the garage, though he is not having any resources. So author is very happy as what? Mukesh is having that risk-taking capability in his life, which others have lost. And she questions, don't you want to drive an aeroplane? Don't you want to drive an aeroplane? And he really felt embarrassed with himself. Who? Mukesh. And he said no. He said, no, I don't want to fly an aeroplane or drive an aeroplane. Why? Still, author can sense that this boy's dream is still a dream. He only thinks of becoming a motor mechanic, and he has not allowed his dream to be converted into regret. That is the soul of this chapter, or rather a soul for Mukesh, which we can learn from Mukesh's life. That first of all, he has not lost the spirit. That risk-taking spirit, he has not lost it, while others have lost. In this due course of a chapter, I have explained you how they have lost. As they are poverty-stricken, they are uneducated, they are unaware, they are in vicious web, there is no leader, they are unable to unite themselves. They have actually lost, or they have actually stopped taking initiative. Even they have lost the capability of dreaming something better for themselves. But this Mukesh, who has dreamt of becoming a motor mechanic, his dream is a dream, and I think he is going to fulfill it, because that has not converted into a regret. He is not sorry about his decision. And chapter ends the line, few airplanes fly over Firozabad. Means he wants, his wishes are those which he wants, for which he can make some attempts to fulfill it. Okay? So my dear children, in this chapter of Lost Spring, we dealt with two different stories. Number one, sometimes I find a routine garbage about a boy called as Sahib, who was a rat picker. His name was an irony. His name was Sahib-e-Alam, but his socio-economical condition was far away from his name. His name was Sahib-e-Alam, means Lord of Universe, but he was a rat picker. And we have seen the condition of families, how they were devoid of sewage, drainage and continuous supply of water in that area of Simapuri, which actually is at the periphery of Delhi. And how from a rat picker, this Sahib, what he became? He became a boy working in a tea stall. He was a child labor then. Also he was a child labor here. But his condition improved as he was getting 800 salary per month and a meal sorted. The steel canister belongs to the shopkeeper, and that's why not his own, while the plastic bag of Sahib was his own. That's why it appeared to be heavy. And in Mukesh's life, we saw this boy belonging to the bangle making family of Firozabad town, where the children are working in high temperature, dingy cells, and in a without air, without light, and such a miserable condition. And their eyes actually become blind, because their eyes are accustomed to darkness only than the daylight. So they became blind, or they achieved blindness before they become adults. And in that hopeless world, where they were entrapped by the politicians, by the bureaucrats, by the sahukar, by the policeman, the boy Mukesh dreamt of becoming a motor mechanic so that he can change for some better. So my dear children, for now I'm just closing up, and hope you find it interesting. Before I leave, I will give you some questions for your home assignment. Kindly note it down. I already told you that whenever you sit for English class, kindly take a paper and a pen along with you. Okay, so my number one question is, who was Mukesh? I repeat, who was Mukesh and what was his dream? My next or second question is, why does the author say that the bangle makers were caught? That the bangle makers were caught in the vicious web. Why does the author say that the bangle maker were caught in the vicious web? Okay, and my third question and the last question is, what is the working condition of the children? What is the condition of children? What is the condition of children working in glass furnaces of Firozabad? What is the working condition of children what is the condition of children working in glass furnaces of Firozabad? So these three questions, you are going to do it as a home assignment, and you all stay at home, stay safe, and I will meet you in the next video. Till then, have a nice day. Bye bye.